Men in this train car will look at me with lust since I'm the most desired.
This woman, this feminist, completely lost her mind on the subway because there were too many men, and now she's the laughingstock of all of Mexico. This news is real. Pay attention. It's trending and being discussed. In the Monterrey subway during a sporting event, a woman complained when the pink car became mixed. She warned she would activate the emergency lever. The other passengers reacted angrily. Kick her out, they said, and they ended up kicking her out. They ended up pushing her. Women, yes. Women kicked this lady out.
Damn women! They kicked me out because their husbands probably fell in love with me.
To give a bit of context, this happened after the match between Rayados de Monterrey and Pumas in the Mexican League. By the way, an interesting detail, Sergio Ramos and Keylor Navas were both there, and Ramos scored a penalty against Navas. The match took place at Rayados de Monterrey's BBVA Stadium. Just look at how the stadium looks. As you can see, it's a very, very big, gigantic stadium. In fact, this stadium will be part of the next World Cup in the year 2026. Yes, this is a World Cup stadium, so you'll see it very soon on television. The point is that the match between Rayados de Monterrey and Pumas was played in that stadium, a stadium with a capacity of 51,000 spectators. Therefore, we're talking about a massive event, more than 50,000 people who need to get around, who need to get home. So what happens during events of this magnitude? What the Monterrey government does is that in the subway, they take over the pink zone, which is an area exclusively for women. And during special events like a soccer match, they open up that area and it becomes a mixed zone. This is done this way in order to increase the flow and improve the movement of people. Let me remind you, more than 50,000 people trying to get home. So just imagine having those train cars exclusively for women completely empty. Obviously, we're talking about wasted, unused space, and clearly that would make the Monterrey subway highly congested. So precisely for that reason, the pink cars, which are supposed to be for women only, are opened up and become mixed during sporting events, concerts, or any kind of event where there are a lot of people. But anyway, let's see what happened.
They call her Lady Metro. This happened in Monterrey at the end of the Rayados soccer match.
Do you see how the women end up pushing her?
It's late, and due to overcrowding, the women's car is turned into a mixed one. The girl didn't want men in the women's car and she activated the emergency lever.
But it's mixed. At that moment, it's not exclusive for women. At that exact moment, it's a mixed car. Therefore, that woman is breaking the law.
The girls who were near her decided to take her off because she didn't want to move and was protesting that there were men in the car.
Totally delusional. They act this way because they're used to facing no consequences. Since no one does anything to them? Well, just imagine. So you get the idea. The security guards hardly dared to touch her. It had to be civilian women who pushed her and took her out. But if a man had done this, the security guards would have kicked him out of there. And look, don't get me wrong. I agree that the security guards should do that they should do their job. The issue in these cases is that they take no action when it's a woman. And since this lady had gotten used to getting her way, that's why she acts like that. Because she thinks she's going to get away with it. Because throughout her whole life, she never suffered or paid the consequences for her actions. That's why she thinks she can do this.
In the end, this is what happened.
Look, the security people are trying to talk to her, but you can't reason with someone like that. You just can't. She's someone who's been completely brainwashed.
What happened? Well, the passenger pulled the emergency lever, causing the train car to come to a complete stop until the problem was resolved.
Do you realize how serious her actions are? What she did is illegal and criminal. She was pulling the emergency lever completely falsely, with no real reason to pull the emergency lever because there was no such emergency. It was just her whim. It was her delusion. So this woman really, from my point of view, should have ended up in jail. She should have ended up behind bars. We need to start making these supposedly empowered women face the consequences of their actions. If they commit a crime, if they break the law, they should go to jail. They should pay for that crime. It can't be possible that there's total impunity for these kinds of people. That's why they keep doing it over and over again. We need to start setting an example. For example, this woman should have ended up behind bars.
The thing is, that day there was a soccer match between Pumas and Rayados. After doing some research, when there's a big event, all the subway cars become mixed. In other words, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, the point is to speed up the flow.
Absolutely. There are 50,000 people there.
Of people.
Let's see. Obviously, not all those 50,000 people take the subway. Many must have their own car. Others must take Uber. But, of course, I think at least about 10,000 people must be trying to take the subway almost at the same time. Therefore, we need to speed up the flow. And this woman was preventing people from getting home. Remember, we're talking about everyone, men, women, and children. No one who went to the soccer game could get home on time because of this lady.
Security guards arrived at the scene. The girl asked them to get all the men off. But since there were too many people and apparently they had already been warned about this, they simply ignored her. They tried to talk to her, but she didn't understand.
You just can't reason with her. She has a mental problem.
In a video, she clings to the lever.
And of course she does. That's undeniable, indisputable.
Until two women got fed up and took her out of the car, pushing her, ending up on the floor. And with plenty of mockery from the passengers inside.
That's good. Honestly, that's good. It's the least that should be done in these kinds of cases, the very least. They even call us feminists. Why is Monterrey trending? This slender, beautiful lady went viral after getting upset on the Monterrey subway. She got upset because men entered the pink car due to a sporting event. After the aggression, the crowd demanded she be removed and kicked her out. In the end, it was women who ended up throwing her out, who ended up pushing her. There was no other way, unfortunately, in a country like Mexico, where the laws so brutally favor women. There was no other option but for another woman to push her. Did you notice the security guards couldn't do anything? No, incredible. I mean, when a woman commits a crime on public transportation, a security guard, he's just for show. He can't do anything because at the slightest thing he could be accused of gender-based violence and a whole bunch of nonsense that was made up in Mexico. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I would really like to know what you think and what your opinion is about this case. It's complete madness. I'm glad they took this woman off. She totally deserved it. Guys, see you next time.